Okay, we have Richard Earhart would like to speak. You're up, sir. Yes, sir.
There you go.
All right, so we'll allocate 3 minutes for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyways, I want to apologize to the mayor and to Mrs. Blackstone for yesterday. Okay? I let the domino effect take me over with my disgust on the crater hole that was on Ivanhoe East Drive. I hit that hole because they had oncoming traffic. I hit that hole, it blew out my radiator hose. It was a pretty deep hole. I will hand it to the mayor. He got it fixed as soon as he found out about it. However, I was going to get one of the cones that had been sitting there, I don't know, 3-4 months at least now. One of them orange cones. I was going to take it down there and set it in the hole so none of you or anybody would hit that hole. As I was doing that, had a couple young men stop. One jumps out of the truck, comes screaming at me, "Put my effing cone back." Okay? He went ballistic on me. Got in my face, was threatening me, begging me, taunting me to do something. Okay? I'm a little bit old for that. I don't do that anymore. I told him I was going to put it in the hole so nobody else would drive in the hole. He didn't want to hear it. Put my cone back. So he takes his cones and goes down the road. I did put a cone in there, okay, because they're sitting all over. So I'll tell you that I did, because I didn't want somebody else to hit that. And then the next day I go by, mayor's got it fixed. I mean, but again, I apologize. I was a little over the line. But that young man tripped my trigger. It was right around noon, because I think the mayor said that they were going to lunch. So him and his partner, they were cruising around drinking Red Bulls. They might have been on lunch. I don't know. One thing that I do, I'm curious, do we test employees for drugs when we hire them? I ask that. I ask that because I used to deal with drug abuse when I was in the uniform. Okay, I was a counselor. He displayed a lot of the characteristics. And I guess that's about it. I feel better now that I've apologized to both of you. I'm very sorry for the way I acted. Just one question, I don't know where that new entrance that's coming in. Is there 69, is that going to have a turning lane put on it at some point in time? I don't know. I just throw that question out there. I don't expect an answer. Thanks for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for that. If you want to talk about it further, we can leave another time. Thank you for that. If you'd like to continue the conversation at a later date, I'd be more than willing to. Consent agenda items. The first on the agenda is the minutes of the regular council meeting for May the 15th. I'd like a motion to accept the minutes.
Make that motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pass. Kyle, you're up. This is the presentation for the audit for fiscal year 2024.
Thank
The
you, sir.
report. Yes, sir.
My name's Dan Rainey. I'm the audit partner at Goff Herrington. This is our third year, I believe, to do the audit. We kind of stepped in when Kyle and his staff became more of a consulting and an advisory role. So I'll go through the audit rather briefly, and that's a good thing. That just means that we didn't really have anything to report to you guys other than we did an audit, and the audit went well, and all of our testing yielded positive results. So I'll kind of skip around and go through it if you want to follow along, if you have a copy. Page 1 is our audit opinion. It is an unmodified opinion, which simply means we didn't have any reasons to modify the standard language of the audit opinion. And that's a good grade. That means that we didn't have any findings or issues. Right behind that, on page 4, starts the management's discussion and analysis section. This is a required part of a governmental audit, and it just kind of highlights the financial data that follows, as well as provides some overviews of the financials and defines why and how they're in there. And it provides some high-level comparative stuff. Again, nothing really alarming or worth spending much time on. We'll touch on everything as we look to the financials. So if you would, we'll go over to page 10 and look at the actual financials. Pages 10 and 11 are what are called government-wide, and this is another required part of a governmental audit. This encompasses every part of the city into one financial statement. And as we look through the remainder of the statements, you'll see that the other statements kind of segregate different parts of the city and different departments. But this one has everything in one. This statement also includes all of the fixed assets as well as the long-term debt, which your fund financials generally do not. So as we look at page 10, the balance sheet, we see that total assets was $9.2, almost $9.3 million compared to total liabilities of about $2.5 million. So that leaves us with a total net position of $6.776 million. And on page 11, that kind of shows how that number changed from last year to this year. We had total expenses of $1.4 million, revenues of about $4.5 million, which leads us to a net income or an increase in net position of $3.16 million. Now, the reason we have such a large increase is we had about $4 million in fixed assets that were capitalized and not included as expenses on this. So those assets will be depreciated as they're used, and that expense will get absorbed in your financial statements over the next. Right? That's exactly. It's the roads and the dams and the big project, the big grant projects. That's exactly what it is.
Okay, now it makes sense.
Yes, sir. Yep. The revenue is mostly from grants, and the expenses and capital assets are as well. Thank you. Any other questions on that statement? The next statement on page 12 are the fund statements. And this is probably of more interest to you guys. This is a more cash-based statement. It's called a modified cash. So the only accruals on here are stuff that are going to be paid for with cash on hand at year end, or liabilities that will be, assets that will be received from uses that were happened prior to year end. So we see here again, I'm looking at the first column, which is the general fund. We had $807,000 in assets compared to only $27,000 in liabilities, most of which were short-term payables and payroll liabilities. And it leads us to a fund balance in the general fund of $507,000. And then the other governmental funds, which include everything other than the federal grants, we had a fund balance of $99,751. And then over on page 14, we'll kind of see how those numbers changed during the year. General fund, we had $872,000, almost $873,000 in revenues, $863,000 in total expenses. So we increased our fund balance $908,000 before recognition of proceeds for the new truck, and then we sold, I think the old truck, right? Was that the sale of the capital assets for $10,000? So we had an additional $62,000 in income. So we increased our net fund balance by $71,000 in the general fund, decreased our net fund balance in the other funds $302,000, and again that was capital expenditures. That's what that fund was there for, and you spent the money as you were as you guys as a board and a city council have budgeted. That's exactly what it is. Yes, sir. And then you can see in the middle column there the grants, significant expenditures of $3.8 million, but all of that was reimbursed 100% by grant funds. So any questions on the financial statements? The rest of the report here is notes. There's nothing new, nothing alarming, no gotchas or anything like that. Some required supplementary information, budgetary data. Again, nothing there that's alarming or I think is worth spending much time on. The last item I look at on the bound report, if you don't mind, is all the way back on page 31. Because you are a government, we're required to do the audit under the governmental auditing standards. And that means that we have to look at the internal controls and specifically how they are in place for areas of compliance with not only your federal dollars, but your state and local as well. So we did testing there and reviewed your internal controls, and happy to say we didn't have any findings. All of our tests yielded positive results, and we did not find any weaknesses in internal control. And then on page 33, because the city did spend more than $750,000 in federal funds during the year, you were subject to a single audit. And single audit just means that we have to identify a single major program and test it under some pretty stringent guidelines provided by the feds. And we did that. We obviously picked the big community development grant because that is the bulk of your money, your funds. Again, no findings. Our tests yielded positive results, and all areas that we tested were found to be compliant. So, other than that, there is a letter kind of shoved in the back binding, just a little single page there that's loose. This is a required part of a communication from auditors to the council, and just kind of tells you that the audit went great. That's what it says. It says we didn't have any troubles. We didn't feel like the city or its employees held back or didn't provide us with items we asked for or anything like that. So unless you got questions, that's all I've got.
Do we get a grade?
You got an A+, yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Before I get started, I'd like to preface with the fact that we are advised not to respond to any public comments to maintain compliance with Texas Open Meetings Act. Moving along. I'm happy to report that the 22nd Street warranty work is complete. The final walkthrough has been done, final paperwork has been completed, and the final payment has been processed. So 22nd Street is now complete. Camelot Circle, it's been a real pain, but they tore the whole road up. They came back and applied lime to the subbase. They had to take the asphalt and the aggregate off of the top of the road and stockpile it while they did the lime treatment. They put that material back down on top of the lime-treated subbase, and they mixed in cement. Once the road compaction testing is complete, it'll be paved with 2 inches of asphalt. And that should be soon. I can't read it. Galahad Loop, it's the same scenario there. It's been treated with lime. The base has been put back down, packed down with cement, and they'll be adding asphalt shortly. Ivanhoe Drive construction is scheduled to begin July the 1st for our part. That's from the highway to Camelot. The commissioner has selected a contractor, Texas Materials, to do Ivanhoe Drive from Camelot to Charmaine Drive East. I do not have a start date for that project yet, but it's going to be moving pretty quickly as well. Lake Camelot Dam, Lakey construction has been slightly delayed pending the delivery of the precast box culverts. Once delivered, construction will resume. We drove over there this afternoon, and a rather large track hoe is in place to begin tearing the dam down. I noticed that they did cut down a number of very large pine trees that have fallen to the backside of the dam. Lake Ivanhoe Dam, engineering package is complete. We have ads in the paper advertising for bids. This is the good news. The not so good news is that GLO will not be approving the clearing of the lake bed. I drove around Ivanhoe Drive West and Ivanhoe Drive East and knocked on doors, and I met with multiple individuals and asked them to begin to cut trees down if they want to. Just cut them and let them drop. And hopefully the contractor, when they go in to clean up the water flow, that they'll be able to push those trees together and we can then burn them. I don't think that'll be a big deal. I don't know. We'll have to see. The only work to be done on the lake bed is the clearing and cleaning of the water flow drainage. Lake Tristan, the dam, and the S-turn. With all of Texas Materials issues, the project has been on the back burner with LJA. The LJA engineer indicated he'll be calling for assistance on moving forward. He has concerns on the requested side road to the boat launch. That just happened recently. He wants to talk about that more. There is more to follow as we dig deeper into the issue. Lakewood Drive is complete. Elite Construction did an admirable job on that road, and we hope to be able to use them again in the future. Office update. We have a new phone system. It's installed and working great. We're now able to transfer phone calls between us. When we, if we're on the phone and someone calls in, they don't get a busy signal and we don't get a beep in our ear. It rings over to the next available extension. It's really a step in the right direction. Ivanhoe Police Department and the Ivanhoe Volunteer Fire Department, they traded some old dash cams for a radio antenna tower. It's been installed out next to the building. It has an antenna on it. We have a base unit now, and our police department is able to monitor radio traffic inside of the building. The portable units did not work inside of a metal building, and this is a step in the right direction. As part of that, our Public Works Department now has radios installed in their vehicles, and they have portable radios. The cool thing about this is that they have frequencies that are specific to the Public Works Department, and the Police Department has frequencies that are specific to them, and the Fire Department has frequencies that are specific to them. But in a national emergency or a disaster, they can all rotate over to the same frequency, and with emergency management, the Sheriff's Department, our Police Department, Fire Department, and Public Works will be able to communicate regardless of whether we have cell phone signals or not. This is a big deal, and I'm happy to be able to report that. Lots of good stuff going on. Next Tuesday at 5:05, we're going to have a public hearing to close out the TDA job, which was part of 22nd Street. It's just a formality to be able to say that we're done and be able to move on. Let's see. Chief, you're up.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council.
Is it on?
For the month of May, we had 72 calls for service. It was a busy month. 18 citations, 6 warnings. We made 6 arrests. Arrests that we dealt with were assault, family violence, terroristic threats, parole violations, possession of a controlled substance, assault, and public intoxication. On those notes, just remember that we do not take complaints from social media. That's not a legal way to get to us. If we don't know about it, we can't do nothing. So I know people like to get on social media and post their feelings about what happened or somebody broke into something and stole something. Well, if we don't know about it, we can't help you. Watch your animals. Your animals are getting out or running loose again. Or seeing the intake in them. Also, you have to make sure your dogs have their shots. If your dog bites somebody, the dog's going to be quarantined for 10 days. But you'll also be receiving citations for it as well. Watch for snakes. It's getting warm. Snakes are on the move. Stay hydrated. It's getting hot. We don't need no medical emergencies out here. And that's about it. Any questions for the police department?
No, sir. Thank you. Mr. Marshall?
It's on, yeah, it's on. Let's see, we got the 4 complete work orders this month, 2 scheduled, 2 pending, 3 still in progress. So we're about on track with those normally as we do. The radios you mentioned are working just fine. We have been very busy with the contractor picking up their slack, getting ready for the culverts, the culvert ends, dealing with them.
The head walls.
The head walls, yeah.
I'd like for you to get into a little detail on that, please, sir.
As far as
The number of bags, the number of culverts,
6,065,
the number of culverts,
somewhere in the neighborhood of 22.
or 70.
We're not going to do all the culverts, no.
Okay.
No, not all the culverts that we installed.
Okay.
But some of the locations are going to take, I think the smallest amount that we've seen for one location has been in the neighborhood of 457 bags. The largest one being 1,800 bags for one location to get these head walls up.
And those bags are being provided by the contractor?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So they, this has been a comedy of errors with Texas Materials and the cement bags.
To say the least, yeah. I did get our PO number today, as promised.
Yes, I saw that this morning.
But won't be ready till Monday, I think, so.
So, and this has been something that's been going on for quite some time. The LJA wanted to say that it was entirely on Public Works that the head walls had not been done. I took strong exception to that, and David had actually gone to Parker's and talked to the manager there. The manager actually contacted the project manager at Texas Materials, and it took 3 months for him to get the purchase order placed with Parker's. They didn't have an account set up, and they didn't. It shouldn't take 3 months to set up an account.
No.
So we're behind the 8 ball a little bit on that,
We are.
but it'll be okay. We have plenty of time.
We have plenty of time. We hired a new hand today, which he's a young man. Big
Strong
enough
back.
to carry about 1,600 of those bags, I think.
Strong like
So
young bull.
We're definitely putting him to good use.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a good asset. It's going to take some time, but that's a lot of bags to put out. That's a lot of rebar to cut, but we can make it within the timeline.
So explain how the rebar is going to be used, just for the benefit of the folks watching.
There's going to be a certain, about a 45-degree angle from the ground up to the road surface, and everything in between that degree will be packed with concrete bags. It's got to be so many below the pipe, so many above the pipe. The rebar has got to be cut because we've got to drive it in, I think, at 45-degree angles on both ends, and then 2 in the top to go through as deep as we need it to on all the bags. I mean, it's nothing to it. It's just
Sounds like a lot of
time-consuming.
work.
A lot of physical work. So
Yeah.
these guys are going to go through it in the exact time of year that I didn't want them to, which is 90, 100-degree weather. But they're up for it, up to it, and we'll get it done on schedule, as promised.
What percentage of your labor is being used on that versus other stuff in the city right now?
100%.
So work orders and other stuff to get stuff fixed is gonna fill in?
We're going to be able to, I'm not going to have these guys out here every day of the week.
Yeah.
They're going to have a day break, and we're going to try and keep up with the work orders in that way. Give them something different to do.
So we should begin to see the ability to get to some of these roads more often than we did once we get caught up.
Yeah.
We have less road to maintain now.
We do. We do.
And,
And a lot of what we're maintaining now should be done by the contractor. The Ivanhoe Drive coming in.
yes, sir.
I know the hump there has been a big issue. That's the contractors. However, for the sake of the traveling public, by the time it would take for a phone call, for them to get the proper people, personnel, the materials, we can have it done 10 times over. So that's what we do.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so Ivanhoe Drive that hump will disappear. The road will be raised
To the top of that hump, yeah.
actually a little bit above it once
Right.
you get
Right.
the aggregate and the
That-
asphalt on there.
That whole area is going to be raised to a good 3, almost 4 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no more flooding.
So that's a good thing.
Mhm.
Mill Creek is done.
Mhm.
So we'll have be able to detour out through Mill Creek or the back road, Toller Road, if
Yeah.
need be.
A couple of things on Mill Creek briefly.
Yes, sir.
Of course, the contractor does have to come back through and recut those ditches
Okay, good.
because of the silting in problem. Contract just states, I believe, that it has to be seeded.
Say again?
The contract, I believe, states that those back slopes and
Oh,
forward
yeah.
slopes have to be seeded with grass.
Yeah,
Problem is, it doesn't say how.
yeah.
And going out there by hand and just throwing them here and there is only going to last till the next big rain. I talked with LJA and Stephen. We're going to try and get them to come out and do the hydromulch. It sprays and sticks, and within 3 days you've got
That would be good.
got grass. That's the only way to catch up with it.
One other thing, 21st Street, they moved all that stockpiled material,
Mm-hmm.
but they left the street in a horrible mess. They need to go back and
Okay.
work that.
Oh, sure. I'll just put that one on the list.
No, for Texas Materials.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
The area on 22nd that was boogered up,
Yes, sir.
they're going to fix that.
Oh, good.
So that's one less thing that we have to do. That was right there where they were pulling in and out with those dump trucks. So yeah, that's only fair.
Dams?
Dams have been inspected. Everything looks good. We are having a grass problem. I need to get with Randy, see what kind of aquicide y'all are using that we can spray in there, because it's going to probably run into the lake. I want to make sure we're good there. And I also want to get with you on some of the limits of where you want us to spray and that kind of stuff, okay? Okay.
So we had planned on having Marsh come out and do the caulking,
Yep.
and it should have been done already, but we just don't have the money right now.
Well, if that and the other thing, I want to look into the patch here.
I've talked to Epoxy Designs
Yep.
about the one void that's at this end of the
Mhm.
one-lane bridge.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
once we get to the new budget, we'll have monies and we'll
Yeah.
be able to get them back out here. We're not going to do the soundings on Galahad. We're just going to
Right.
let them,
Find them.
cut
Yeah.
holes and look.
Yeah.
And at that time, we'll have them fill this void.
Yeah, but the dams themselves, as far as everything else that's on that inspection checklist, which is rather lengthy, is in good shape. No issues there that I could find.
Good.
The inlets, the outlets, and all that stuff. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
You betcha.
We don't have anything on P and Z this evening. It's still being finalized on how to get a list of the Airbnbs that are in the city. Report for the Tyler County Appraisal District. We don't have anything on that yet. Ms. Williams, you're up with your financial report.
So before I do my financial report, I do want to remind council that I sent out an email earlier this month. You have cybersecurity training that needs to be done prior to June 30th, since you have government laptops. Takes about 20 minutes. Just shoot me an email when you're done. Let me know. Yes.
I do not have a government laptop.
You don't have any city issue laptop?
No, I do not.
Oh, well, then you're good then. But if you have a,
Still do the training,
yeah.
but
Okay. Okay. Well, if you have a government issued laptop, then you have to do the security training. It's like I said, it's 20 minutes, and then just shoot me an email and just say done. and it doesn't take much time at all. But that has to be done. I have to certify that with TML by the 30th. So I need that done 11 days. Okay. So all the financial documents and the bank statements were sent to council on June 13th, including the account financial reports and reconciliation details for each account. The state comptroller direct deposited $7,587 on June 13th for sales and use taxes that were collected in April and reported to the comptroller in May. Last month, the sales tax deposit was $8,390. We did not receive the check for the ad valorem taxes yet. Per the conversation I had with the tax office, I'm supposed to be receiving it this week. I know yesterday they were closed briefly for a funeral. I don't believe they were open today because of Juneteenth. So, and it seems they're a little slacking on that this month, but I should have it. I'm gonna call in the morning. I should have it tomorrow. The Texas class interest rates remained around 4.2% through the end of May. There's nothing new to report with CSB. That being said, the totals for the various departments and the budgets are correct. The bank statements have been reconciled, and I do believe the May financials can be approved. If there are any questions.
Get a motion to accept the May financials?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Do I need to say what we're adjourning for?
Yeah, so you're gonna recess at whatever time it is and.
Okay, it's 6:32.
State 5-5, state that whole,
I have to,
yeah.
we have to consider appointment, employment, performance, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee. We'll be adjourning to executive session briefly.
Say 5-5, say the statute number. Yeah, okay.
That's 551.074 statute number. we concluded our meeting, and we're taking no action at this time. So if I
Make a
can,
motion that,
we adjourn?
we adjourn?
A second?
Yeah, well, you had council comment.
Oh, council
Council
comments.
comments.
Yes,
Any council comments?
thank you.
I'm sorry.
My comment is I agree with Joe for the motion to adjourn.
All in favor? We are adjourned.